everyone, it's Friday and you're watching Within the Frame. I'm Kim Bo-kyung. The 19th Asian Games, which finally kicked off after a one-year delay, are now coming to an end. And South Korea sent a record-high delegation of 1,140 athletes and officials seeking redemption after quite a disappointing result at the Jakarta-Palembang Games in 2018. It previously said it would aim to win around 40 to 50 gold medals for third place behind host country China and Japan. Although there are still several events left, we would like to wrap up how Team Korea has done up until now. And for more on this, we invite our very own sports editor, Paul Neat. Hey, Paul.
Hello there.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And we also welcome Nicolas Rocca, a journalist from the Radio France Internationale, into the studio. Nicolas, welcome.
Good to be here.
All right. Now, first question to our Paul. So the Asian Games are nearing their end. And up until now, how have Team Korea performed?
They've done well, I think. On target in terms of the rankings, obviously that top three finish was the aim. So finish at the moment, they are doing well. They're in that top three. Time might be running out a little bit in terms of reaching that gold medal target. I know it was quite broad. It was, as you said, 40 to 50. So now I think it's around 35. So if they want to do better than they did last time, time might be running out. But I don't think we should get too fixated on those sort of numbers because, you know, it is nice to have targets like that and it creates a bit of focus for everybody involved. But there have been some great achievements nonetheless throughout this Asian Games. Korea's done well in some of the events that we expected them to do. Archery, of course, gold earlier today as well. And Se-young in badminton is through to the final for that as well. Football, of course, that Korea's won for the last two Asian Games, the final tomorrow. Baseball, so there's still stuff to come.
Right.
And yeah, it's been good. I think Korea at the moment is second in terms of the overall total medals, third when it comes to gold. So more or less on target, and I think there's been some very memorable moments.
All right, there's a lot still for us to look forward to, so let's wait and see. Now, Nicolas, let's delve a little bit deeper into specific events where South Korea was able to win gold medals. Now, first, in swimming, South Korea achieved an impressive record in swimming, winning a total of 22 medals, as far as I know. Could you tell us more about the achievements in swimming?
Yeah, a lot of the good results came thanks to Kim Woo-min, which is the freestyle swimmer. He managed to get four medals, three of them being gold ones in 400-meter freestyle, 800-meter freestyle. He came second on 1,500-meter freestyle. Overall, the relays did really good. I believe 6 relay races and 1 medal in every single one of them. One that was really notable was the 4x 200-meter freestyle for the men that was won, and that set the new Asian record, which is a significant achievement. Amongst the 4 swimmers was Hwang Seung-woo that broke his own record on 200-meter freestyle, also taking the title. And Hwang won a medal in every single race he competed in. So yeah, there's been a lot of great results. Amongst them, the 4x 100-meter medley women relay that won the silver medal. I think 2 figures really speak for themselves. First of all, you said 22 medals.
Right.
Last time was only 6 in Indonesia. And more importantly, I think 12 new national records, which speaks a lot about the improvements of the Korean swimming team. And, you know, it might give a lot of hopes for the upcoming Olympics in Paris.
Right. We're going to talk about Olympics later on. But before that, it's so good to hear that. Now, Paul, fencing is also where Team Korea was able to see a streak of gold. It won 12 medals, and 6 of them were gold, and has now become the country with the most gold medals in the history of Asian game fencing. Could you tell us more about this?
Yeah, well, it could have been more gold, actually, as well, because obviously there was the women's sabre team was trying to defend their title from 2018. They lost to Japan, which would have hurt, obviously, losing to Japan, but they won a bronze medal in doing so. Similar story as well for the men's team, that they at least matched what they did in 2018. But even with these setbacks, as you say, they were able to sort of top the table for this sport. And it just goes to show how good Korea's fencers are, I think, at the moment. And there's 6 golds as well. I think the way that they were distributed, you know, they had men's individual sabre, women's épée individual, women's sabre individual, men's team foil, women's team épée, and men's team sabre. You know, it's men and women and all these different sort of disciplines within the sport. So it just shows that there's balance growth and improvement there within the team there. So it's good. We've seen also a sort of passing over of the baton, if you will, with Oh Sang-ok and Gubon Gil. They obviously went ahead in the final, with Oh Sang-ok looking to try and beat somebody who was trying to aim for 4 straight golds at the Asian Games. So, yeah, it's been a lot to look forward to. And as Nicolas said as well, with the swimming, the Paris Olympics will be another opportunity for these guys to look for, to try and win more medals. And it's only a year away, or even less than a year away.
Right,
so these athletes are in their peak now. There's not long to go before they can sort of try and win even more medals next year. So.
Right, a lot to look forward to for next year's Olympics. Now, Nicolas, in some competitions, gold was won for the first time in 2 or 3 decades. For example, Jeon Ji-hee and Shin Yu-bin claimed gold in table tennis for the first time in 21 years. And also, the women's badminton team took gold for the first time since 1994. Could you tell us more about these wins?
Yeah, I think for starters, winning a gold medal in the Asian Games on those 2 sports, which are table tennis and badminton, is a really big achievement, as we know that usually in the Olympics it's mostly Asian athletes that go into the podium. So winning at the Asian Game is a really good and positive sign, and it could almost be seen as a world championship. I mean, it's a very important achievement. Let's start with Jeon Ji and Shin Yu-bin that won at table tennis.
Right.
They won against the North Korean team, which might make the victory even more special. They won the first 2 games. Then the 2 North Korean women attempted a comeback, and then they didn't succeed. And they were able to snatch the victory, 4-1 in total. Globally, table tennis was quite a success. There were 8 medals, and Team Korea came short of the gold on a few different occasions, only to China, which is known as the biggest nation in table tennis. So it's been quite a promising success. The other long-awaited title that you mentioned was badminton, and Korea crushed China 3-0 in the team competition final to win the first Asian title in the sport since 1994, as you said. Team competition, it's an event composed of singles and doubles, and the star of the Team Korea that Paul mentioned, An Se-young, that led the way and won the first game, and then it was followed by the double and another single game. So yeah, it's been a couple of historic wins for Team Korea at this year's Asian Games.
All right, I see. Now, Paul, we have been talking about gold medals that we were able to win, but there was also an unfortunate event that turned gold into silver in the men's roller skating relay final. The men's team reportedly had to take silver because of the premature celebration by Jung Chul-won. Did you happen to see this event?
I did, yes. He obviously thought that he'd done enough to win, and it's easy to get wrapped up in the sort of emotion of it. If you've been getting ready for this event for years, and you think you've finally done it, you're there, but perhaps a rush of blood to the head from him in that regard. But you can't be too harsh. He said that he's sorry that he made a mistake, and he'll learn from this. But it's a racing event, and they can be decided by millimeters. You know what I mean? So I think if he can learn from it, and then he goes into the next tournament, or later in life, whatever that he chooses to do, he'll learn that it's not over until it's over. But yeah, he came in the 3,000-meter relay, and he was only slightly ahead of Wang Yulin of Chinese Taipei. It wasn't as if he had a big lead. So it's kind of strange to see him celebrate so early. It wasn't as if he was several yards ahead. It was very, very short. But I think you have to give some sort of praise for Huang, because they were able to sort of seize on that opportunity. They had the intelligence to sort of stick a toe out, or the skate out and see what happens. But for Jung Chul-won, it's cost him his military exemption and his teammate as well, and losing by 0.01 second just shows how close it was. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully people forget about it, and he can move on.
Yeah, I hope Chung does not get too disappointed by this incident. Now, as far as I remember, Nicholas, gymnast Kim Won-seo had to take silver in the men's vault in 2018 games as he did not bow to referees by the rules. But this year, he did not get to go to the finals in vault, but he did get the second consecutive win for the men's floor exercise, right?
Yeah, which was his main objective, I believe. And this time he did make sure to bowl quite a lot. He even joked a little bit about it, which could be a lesson also for Jung, that he could learn from his mistake and go forward. But yeah, when it comes to Kim Won-seo, he really competed flawlessly in the final. His main opponents was the Chinese Chang Bo-hung, and I mean the two of them were really tight when it came to points. But in the end, the Chinese wobbled a little bit, and in this discipline, of course, it can cost a lot of points. And on Kim's side, he executed perfectly, didn't make any mistake, was really thorough, and he made history because actually he became only the third Korean artistic gymnast to win at least one title in 2 straight Asian Games. So another big and symbolic win.
Right. Kim's case shows how that we can always learn from our mistakes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Paul, we haven't talked about baseball and football. There are competitions that captivate South Koreans, of course, including me. And that being said, in baseball, South Korea is looking to win for the 3rd time, while football, it is aiming to win its 4th gold. How are things going on in these events?
Yeah, well, in terms of the baseball, Korea survived a bit of a scare earlier, but they lost 4-0 to Chinese Taipei. But they got through to the super round, of course, and into the gold medal match, beating Japan along the way. So that'll be sweet for them, because Japan, obviously, one of the other favourites. So if you knock them out along the way, then you sort of the final will be a slightly bit easier. Obviously, they lost to Chinese Taipei, who they play in the final. So it's not quite exactly like that, but beating Japan would give them a lot of confidence heading into this gold medal match. But yeah, I think you just have to hope that they've learned from those mistakes that they made in that 4-0 loss to Chinese Taipei. But Won Tae-in, who plays for the Samsung Lions in the KBO, he was seen as really important in the win against China when they had that sort of convincing win against them. He was really key in getting that win. He allowed just 3 hits in 6 innings that he was on the mound for. So he'll be very, very important for the baseball team. For football, yeah, well, it is 4 they're aiming for, but 3 in a row. Of course, they won here on home soil in 2014 and in 2018 in Indonesia. They've been very dominant, the football team, because they've the group stage, 3 wins from 3. He scored 16 goals with no goals conceded whatsoever. Dominant in the round of 16 against Kyrgyzstan. They won 5-1. 2-0 win over China in the quarters. That was more of a professional performance. I think they had to sort of weather a lot of aggression from the Chinese players, and I think there were some decisions that might have gone against them in terms of the referee. It was a similar story against Uzbekistan in the semis. They had a man sent off, but it could probably have been 2. There was a lot of spirited tackles, let's just say, from the opposition. But now it all comes down to the final tomorrow against Japan, just like it was 5 years ago. So military exemption on the line, but Korea have been so good in this tournament that I think they should be able to get the win. It might go to extra time again, like it did 5 years ago, but I think with the quality that they've got, and they've got a little bit of depth as well. They've got a lot of players who have played regularly in Europe and regularly for their teams in the K-League as well. And some players are really missed, because in the Asian Champions League, for example, it was match day 2 earlier this week. Jeonbuk lost away in Bangkok, and they had 4 players missing that were involved in the Asian Games, to show us how important that they are for their club and also for the under-23 team. So yeah, hopefully we do see more gold medals coming up. But in terms of the baseball, the Korea squad's quite young. Same with Japan too, because they didn't want to disturb their domestic leagues. It's heading into the sort of end of the season now. So it'll be even more of an achievement if they do win, because of how young and kind of relatively inexperienced that they are.
Are you going to watch tomorrow's match?
Oh, of course, of course.
How do you expect it to go?
The football, I think a narrow win.
I
wouldn't be surprised if we see extra time again, but hopefully not a penalty shootout, because it's just such a lottery.
All right, let's have our fingers crossed. All right, now, Nicholas, as we know, esports competitions were newly introduced for this year's Asiad, and Team Korea fought quite well, especially in League of Legends, Go, and Street Fighter V. Could you tell us more on this?
Yeah, I mean, it was not really a surprise that they did well, as it could, especially when it comes to League of Legends, could be considered a sort of national sports, was maybe archery. Korea won the gold medal against Taiwan, Chinese Taipei in League of Legends final, which earned quite notably the world-renowned player Faker. His real name is Lee Sang-hyuk, but it earned him his military exemption for him and his 6 teammates, which is quite important. And they will only have to compete, do 3-4 weeks of training, a bit like Son Heung-min did, which is pretty significant given the level of those players and what they represent for their team. In the Korean or Chinese league. Even though he also won the gold medal in Street Fighter V, Kim Kwon-ho won't win an exemption because is 44, but it was quite an impressive win also. And lastly, in Go, in Padok, Korea did pretty good, brought a couple of medals. In a final against China, the men's team competition managed to get the gold medal, won the final. The women's team won the silver medal, and lastly, Shin Jin-so, the #1 Korean player in Go, won the bronze medal on Thursday. So pretty good also.
Well, I myself is a big fan of Faker, and I'm so happy that they won the game.
It's a relief.
Right. Well, okay. Now, Paul, I believe we talked about major sports events, but just in case I missed some noteworthy events, were there any other competitions or games that were worth watching for Korean fans?
Well, I mean, I'm more about what's coming up that I think is just as important. That's archery, because we've got more coming up over the weekend as well. So, as we know, archery is almost a national sport for South Koreans, and there's an all-Korean bronze medal match tomorrow morning in the men's individual compound event. That's between Ju Jae-hoon and Yang Jae-won. That's tomorrow morning. And then later in the day, we also have a bronze medal match in the women's recurve with Im Si-hyun against An San. Obviously, he was a household name after the Olympics last time around. So, and then a bit later in the day, we've got EU Sok in the men's recurve bronze medal match. So hopefully more medals to come. But Korea are very strong in archery, as we know, and it's always something to look forward to, especially with Im Si-hyun, who's the world #3 and also an Olympic record holder. And then An San is probably the most successful archer ever and world #5. So that match is going to be really interesting. And I think it's just one of those events that everybody can look forward to, because it's always brought a lot of happiness and joy and medals for South Korea. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Me too, looking forward to it. Now, Nicholas, we still have several events left, like our Paul said. But overall, how do you say this year's Asia was for Team Korea?
Well, I mean, I will subscribe to what Paul said in introduction in a way. I think there's been a lot of promises. Maybe the gold medal tally wouldn't be as high as we might have hoped, but there's a lot of possible gold medals coming up: baseball, football, archery. Of course, what is sure is that the record of 2002 in Busan is going to stay far away. But I think globally, it's been pretty good. Korea, in a way, succeeded where it had to, and also showed some interesting promises. I think it was also a symbolic Asian game in a way, because last time in 2018 it was a completely different geopolitical atmosphere in a way. There were a couple of inter-Korean teams that won 4 medals, I believe, won gold medals in Dragon Boat, and also a silver medal in women's basketball. And we've seen quite a couple of tense year, in a way, inter-Korean games this year, which showed sometimes, geopolitical tension can be felt in sports. I think this was a symbolic aspect of those Asian Games for Korea. But in a way, I think when it comes to the medals and how well the athletes did, I think there's a lot of hope, and a lot to look into for the Olympics.
All right. Now, I believe this will be our last question, but I want to ask both of our experts. And since we have been keep talking about next year's Olympics, I'd like to ask you guys, how do you guys expect Asian athletes to perform next year? Paul, could you start us off?
Yeah, well, I think esports making its debut this time around in the Asian Games will sort of stand in good stead, I think, for the Olympics coming up, because that'll be there at Paris 2024 as well. So with South Korea and obviously the Asian athletes or the Asian sort of gamers involved, they will have had a tournament under their belts already taking into the Olympics, and then the others will see what the benchmark is at this level, you know. And also, I think there are two particular athletes I want to highlight, if I may. Hwang Sun-woo, obviously, who Nicolas talked about earlier. He's now turned those records into medals. You know, he's at that age now where he's still got a long career ahead of him, and the Olympics are only just around the corner. He will feel on top of the world now after the way that he's performed in the Asian Games. So for him as well, he'll be sort of chomping at the bit to sort of let's just go right now. Let's just start the Olympics right now, you know. And in fencing as well with Oh Sang-up, because like I said earlier, he prevented Gu Bong-gil from taking that fourth straight Asiad gold, and for him it was his first gold at the Asiad. And once he's got that sort of monkey off his back, if you will, if he's got that out of the way, he's going to be sort of really confident heading into the Olympics next year. So I think the sports that the Asian athletes are known to be very good at, those are the ones that I'm going to be looking for. But yeah, those two in particular.
All right, so a lot to look forward to for swimming player Hwang Sun-woo and fencing player Oh Sang-up. All right, what's your view on this?
I mean, yeah, I think Asian athletes will perform well in a numerous number of sports that they historically did well in: table tennis, badminton, judo, archery, weightlifting, taekwondo. I think will be quite important for Korea because Team Korea didn't succeed to win a gold medal in Tokyo. I'm pretty sure the athletes are going to be eager to correct that anomaly in a way. In Paris, there will be fencing, gymnastics. I mean, a lot of medal opportunity. I would be curious to see personally what will be the football squad of the Korean team. This under 23 team at the Asian Game looks very promising. There's a lot of talent. Lee Kang-in that is playing in Paris that I think has a lot of potential and of growth. It will also depend on who the manager decides to call, because as you may know, in the Olympics there are some players that are over 23 or 24 depending on the year that can be called. Last year, even those last Olympics, even though Son Heung-min was available, in the end it didn't come. But I mean, if we can imagine a Korean team with Kim Min-jae, the central defender of Bayern Munich, with Son Heung-min, with Lee Kang-in, and with all the young talents, I mean, you may never know. It could be a big surprise, even though I would personally still be in favor of a French win in France. I think I would really be looking at this Korean team. We know that the Olympics, especially in football, reserves a lot of surprise. So who knows? That could be a very big title for Korea.
All right, I see a lot to expect. All right, well, unfortunately, this is all the time we have for today's edition. Thank you, Nicolas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for your time and insights. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's all for Within the Frame tonight. We'll be next Tuesday with more in-depth stories. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the weekend. Goodbye.